Working on this 2019 Toyota 4Runner today, and we're going to put a remote start on this unit. It is a plug-and-play kit. I'm going to walk you through all the steps to install this. This is the kit that we're going to be using today to install on this 4Runner. It is by StartX. I'm going to have links in the comments and descriptions if you're interested in this product or you'd like to follow along and put one of these on your vehicle as well. This is applicable for a 2010 to 2019 4Runner. The part number that they have here is on this box right here. And if you don't catch that part number, hit pause, or like I said, I will have this linked in the comments and descriptions. I'm going to open up the box. I'm going to show you what's inside. Right here, you get the module packed very nice, so nothing's bumping around in there. I've already opened up this harness bag here, but you do get a harness bag, and this should all be plug and play, so we will go through that. They do give you a trim removal tool. You do have to use their instructions online. I did take a quick look at that. Pretty self-explanatory, but this video can help aid on that installation as well in case that's not very clear for you. They do give you some stickers here in case you want to put that underneath the vehicle to let somebody know. You put it on underneath the hood to let somebody know that this has a remote start equipped on it. We're probably not going to put this hood latch system on there. That's part of this wiring harness kit. But if you wanted to put all of that on there, you could do that as well. To start this installation, one of the first things they want you to do is you've got to take this lower section of the steering column off. And I've got the vehicle running because it's so much easier to do this. But you've got to turn the steering wheel and take out this screw here. You're going to turn it the other way, and you've got a screw here on this side. So take those out, and then you will pry on this to pull this down. Once I had the two screws out, I did lower the steering column adjustment, and I basically just pulled down on this. So it's a lot easier to get that, and I pulled from this section right here, right up underneath the steering wheel. If you do have tools, sometimes people call these bones or trim assembly or removal tools, definitely get some of those and slide it between some of those cracks there to try to get that started. Once you get that started, it's pretty simple to get it out of the way. You need access to a harness underneath here is why you're pulling this down. Next thing we need to do is we need to get this side of the panel loose so we can get access to that body control module. I've already pulled this section up, but you've got to pull up on this and slide this out of the way. And we've got to get this lower section out right here. And I've already loosened mine because we got to pull this back a little bit. We really only need access to this side, so you don't have to pull the whole thing off. Be careful too, because some of these vehicles will have airbags. Typically, anytime you see yellow wires or wires wrapped in yellow or yellow connectors, that's going to be something related to your airbag. So don't mess with any of that. Just like an example right here. Don't mess with wiring like that, or you see the yellow sheathing on that. Then I think this one has some type of a airbag right here. So we're not going to mess with that either. The main reason we needed this piece off right here is on the lower section of the dash right here. There's a 10mm bolt that we need to take out. So you don't want to crack anything right here. So I went ahead and I took that out. And what you're going to do is you're going to reach in right here where you took the steering column out. You're just going to pull until you see this kind of pull out. You don't need it all the way out, but the body control module is right behind here. And we need access to two plugs on the back side of that. In the kit, there's these two pre-made harnesses. I'm going to call this one your steering column harness. So this is where you're going to go directly underneath that column section we took off. You're going to interrupt that wire and go to the module with this. And then this other harness, this one is your OBD2 harness and your body control module section. So you're interrupting your OBD2 right here where you will take your factory wire, plug it in there, and then put this back in its place. And we're going to interrupt on the body control module with this harness here. And then this is connecting into the remote start module. Underneath the steering column is this white connector right here. On top is the clip, so you're going to have to push that clip in and wiggle this out till you get it to come out. You're going to take that section of the harness that came with it and plug that back into the factory connector there. Then this factory wire, you're going to plug in the opposite side, and now you're going to reroute this underneath the dash. Underneath the steering column, it's important to check that your harness is not rubbing on any of this metal here. So I'm following this original harness here, and I have zip tied in two spots there, so it's not going to come loose, it's not going to drop down, and then this cowling underneath here should be able to fit back on. We're underneath the dash now, and here is your OBD2 connector. I've already pushed mine. It's got a tab on each side. I've already pushed that to make that loose. It's another good thing to push your parking brake down, get it out of your way. Again, if it's in your way, just move it down so it's completely out of your way so you can get to this a little bit easier. Once you push those two tabs, you're going to get it out of that slot there. You're going to plug it in, this black connector from the supplied harness, and listen for that to click in, and then you're going to push this in its place. So now if you have to get through to that OBD2 connector, you at least have a pass-through there where they could still utilize that. From the top side, I've pulled all the slack over the top of these wires, and on the body control module, you want to get to this center plug right here. There's 1, 2, and 3. You want to get to the center one. The tab is right here. Push on it and then just pull that out. It's hard for me to show you this one-handed, but once you unplug that body control module harness, you're going to plug it into this side of the harness. Then you're going to plug this into the factory body control module. I've got the harness routed where it's completely out of the way of everything. It's not going to get in the way of our emergency brake, our steering column, or anything like that. And I've chosen to bring it over here to the side because when I finally mount the box, I'm going to go to the left of this little fuse box you see right here. I don't want to be to this side because I can interfere with that parking brake. And I did find a spot where I can tuck it up underneath there. But for right now, I'm going to leave it loose where I can get to it because we do have to do some programming here. The instructions are stating for us to go ahead and plug in this power port right here. And it wants you to press and hold this programming button right here. And while you're pressing and holding that button, it mentions that you should plug in this black plug here, the 20-pin plug. And it mentions something about an LED blinking red, but there are no red LEDs on the box. There's only this one green one right up underneath here. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. I'm just going to plug this 20-pin in. It wants you to hold the button before you plug it up. So right now I'm holding that programming button. And then I'm going to plug this one up at the same time. I'm going to hold it there maybe for about 20 to 30 seconds because there is no blinking red LED on this box. Maybe that's an old instruction. And then after it says that you do that, then you can plug the remaining plugs in. They're very simple because there's only a blue plug and it can only plug in this blue section right here. And then there's this black plug that's left and it can plug in on that one right there. For the programming of the module to the vehicle itself, may be a little bit difficult for me to show you on video, but here's the instructions on how it's mentioning that we should connect to the module and how we should turn the key off and on for different sequences. So step 1 is right here. I'll read that to you. Turn the key to the on position. Step 2, wait for the LED on the module to go green. Then you're going to turn the key to the off position. Then number 4, you're going to start the vehicle. And then after 15 seconds, you press and hold the brake pedal. Then you press and release the module's programming button. Then you release the brake pedal. And then you wait for the LED. It'll flash green. It looks like it says LED 2 will flash green. Again, there's only one LED on this module, so I'm assuming that's the one that's going to flash green. So I'm going to go through this process. I'll let you know if it worked. The programming steps that they mentioned did work. And in doing so, I figured out that this is the LED that they're talking about right here in this tiny corner. Ignore that LED. I did not get anything coming out of this LED on this end of the module. It was just blinking red and blinking green right there at that corner. I just happened to have the module in my hand when I hit the button and noticed it right there. So it did work. So I will show you once I mount this exactly where I finish putting this, and then I'll test the remote start for you. So I've got the module mounted now up underneath here. If you can see, the reason I selected this is it's up and out of the way. I was able to run a zip tie crossways through there and pull it to that factory harness underneath there. So completely out of the way. You can see when I let off this parking brake, it's not going to get in the way of anything, and it's way up in there. And I got to put this panel back on. I may put it back on in just a couple more videos left though, because I got to do some more work down in this zone. But did take care of that. I've got the steering column section back on as well. I did have to make a few little notches up underneath there where it's hitting that extra piece of harness, but nothing too bad. You can actually take a pair of pliers and cut some of that plastic up underneath there if you needed to. You could also relocate the harness. I liked where mine was, so I didn't want to do that. The only part of this kit that we did not use is right here, It's a pin that you can put on the hood section, so if the hood is open, it won't remote start. I typically don't put these on. You can put these on if you would like, but basically once it's open like that, it'll ground out and it'll tell it that the hood is open. If the hood is shut, it'll close down like that. I don't really like putting a bunch of holes on the vehicle if it's not necessary, so we're just going to leave that in the kit. And the owner of this vehicle can decide if he wants to add that later or anything. It does have a wire that just connects to the module if you did want to use that. I typically don't put that on there though. Another thing to mention is when I was doing the programming, you've got to have the black key. You can't use the gray valet key. So I already had this key when I did the programming, so everything is good to go. You've got to hit the lock button 3 times, and you'll get a series of flashes on the headlights and some beeps, and then the vehicle will crank. If you want to turn the vehicle off, you can hit lock 3 times and it will shut the vehicle off. And you get a series of blinks to let you know that the vehicle is turned off. If you noticed as well, when I started the vehicle, you will get your daytime running lights on and your parking lights on as if you crank the vehicle. I did test the, if you hit the brake pedal without putting the key in the ignition, it will shut the vehicle off. And I also did test with the door open that it would crank the vehicle as well. That completes the remote start on this 2019 Toyota 4Runner. Hopefully this information was useful or helpful for you, and if it was, please subscribe and share. And that's to the point.